The glossy brochure arrived 2 days before Christmas. I almost tossed it with the junk mail until I saw the handwritten note taped to the front. Ashley's perfect cursive stared back at me. Thought this might help. I opened it slowly. Sunset Gardens, a fresh start for aging parents. Smiling old folks in rocking chairs. Clean rooms with hospital beds disguised as regular furniture. Activity schedules that looked like kindergarten plans for adults. My hands shook as I read her note again. Help. She thought this would help. I'd worked double shifts at the warehouse for 30 years. Paid off their car loan when my son lost his job. Covered their mortgage for 6 months when Ashley's boutique failed. Put my retirement on hold to fund their daughter's private preschool because public schools just aren't safe anymore. And this was my thank you. A one-way ticket to a place where they could forget I existed. I set the brochure on my kitchen counter and stared at it. The happy faces on the cover mocked me. These weren't real seniors. They were actors, paid to look grateful for being warehoused. I wasn't an actor, and I definitely wasn't grateful. I picked up my phone and made a call. Michael answered on the second ring. Hey, Grandpa. You okay? That's what he called me. Grandpa, even though technically I wasn't. Can you come over? I asked. Something I need to show you. 20 minutes later, he sat at my kitchen table, his expensive suit making my old chairs look shabbier than usual. He'd done well for himself. 3 tech companies, all successful. The kind of success that came from working 18-hour days and never forgetting where you came from. I slid the brochure across the table. His face changed as he read it. First confusion, then understanding, then something darker. Ashley sent you this. Christmas gift, I said. Apparently, I need help. Michael's jaw clenched. He had his mother's eyes, Ashley's eyes. But everything else about him was different. Where she was cold calculation, he was warm determination. Where she took, he gave. This is about your house, he said. It wasn't a question. She wants to sell it. I nodded. My little 2-bedroom wasn't much, but it sat on a corner lot in a neighborhood that had gotten trendy. Developers were circling like vultures. Then maybe, Michael said slowly. It's time she knew who really owns half of everything she thinks is hers. 32 years ago, I got a call that changed my life. Mr. Thompson? The woman's voice was professional but tired. This is Sister Patricia from St. Mary's Children's Services. We have a situation. She explained carefully. A young woman had left her baby at their facility. The intake form listed me as an emergency contact. They'd tried to reach the mother, but she'd vanished. The baby's healthy, Sister Patricia said. But we need to know if you can help. I drove to St. Mary's that afternoon. The building smelled like disinfectant and sadness. Sister Patricia led me to a small room where a baby slept in a donated crib. The mother was young, she said, handing me the intake form. 19. No father listed. I looked at the name on the form. Ashley Morrison, my son's new girlfriend. The baby opened his eyes and looked at me. Not crying, just watching. Like he was waiting to see what kind of man I was. What happens if I don't take him? I asked. Foster system. Maybe adoption, maybe not. These days, healthy white babies get adopted fast. But you never know. I looked at that baby again. My son had just started dating Ashley. They seemed happy. I made my decision. I never told Ashley I had Michael. Never told my son either. At first, I thought she'd come back. Young mothers sometimes did, Sister Patricia said. But months passed. Then years. Ashley married my son, had another baby, built her perfect life, and never once asked about the boy she'd left behind. I raised Michael myself. Told people he was my nephew's kid, that I'd taken him in after a family tragedy. People didn't ask too many questions. They saw an old man raising a boy alone and either pitied us or admired us. Both were fine with me. The hard part wasn't the money, though that was tight. Formula, diapers, clothes that he outgrew every few months. The hard part was watching Ashley at family dinners, playing perfect mother to her daughter, while her son sat at home with a babysitter because I couldn't risk bringing him. Michael grew up knowing I loved him, but not knowing why his parents didn't. I told him they'd died in an accident. Better a clean lie than a messy truth. But lies have expiration dates. And when Ashley sent me that nursing home brochure, treating me like trash to be disposed of, I decided the expiration date had arrived. The brochure wasn't really about helping me. I'd known that the moment I saw it. 3 months ago, Ashley had started dropping hints. This house must be so much work for you. Have you thought about something smaller? The stairs must be hard on your knees. My knees were fine. My house was fine. What wasn't fine was their financial situation. My son called me last month, stress cracking his voice. Ashley's boutique had failed. Their mortgage was underwater. Their daughter's private school was $12,000 a year. They needed money fast. We'll figure it out, he told me. Don't worry about us. But Ashley had already figured it out. Sell my house. Worth $400,000 in this market. Stick me in a home that the state would mostly pay for, and use the proceeds to solve their problems. She'd probably already looked up power of attorney forms. Maybe even talked to a lawyer about declaring me incompetent. The brochure was step one in a plan she thought I was too old and stupid to see. She was wrong about that. I'd been watching her for 32 years. I knew exactly what kind of person she was. The kind who could abandon a baby and never look back. Michael and I spent the next week gathering evidence. The birth certificate was easy. I'd kept it in my safe with all his other documents. Ashley Marie Morrison, mother. Father unknown. Born at Riverside General, March 15, 1991. The adoption papers from St. Mary's were harder. They'd moved offices twice, but Sister Patricia, now in her 80s, still volunteered there. She remembered everything. I always wondered what happened to that baby, she said, pulling out old files. The mother paid cash for the placement fee. Very unusual. She handed me a receipt. $500, paid by Catherine Morrison, Ashley's mother. She knew? Michael asked, staring at the paper. The grandmother came once, Sister Patricia said. Looked at the baby through the window, cried, then left. Never came back. We got a DNA test to be certain. Michael and I sat in my kitchen, swabbing our cheeks like we were on some daytime talk show. The results came back 99.97% conclusive. I was listed as grandfather, though we both knew that was just legal fiction. Michael organized everything in a folder. Birth certificate, DNA results, photos from every birthday, every Christmas, every graduation I'd attended alone. When do we tell her? He asked. I looked at my calendar. Ashley's daughter's birthday was coming up. Ashley's daughter, Emma, was turning 4. The party invitation came in the mail, all pink glitter and princess themes. You're invited to Emma's royal birthday ball. At the bottom, in Ashley's handwriting, 2 p.m. sharp. Please don't be late. Like I was some employee being given instructions. Michael studied the invitation. She's having it at their house. Big house, I said. She likes to show it off. The house I'd helped pay for. The house she wanted to upgrade using my money. How many people? Michael asked. Usually about 30. Her parents, her friends from the country club, some neighbors. She makes it a production. Perfect. Michael's voice was calm, but his eyes weren't. The more witnesses, the better. I felt a twist of guilt. Emma was innocent in all this. She didn't deserve to have her party turned into a battlefield. We won't ruin the little girl's day, Michael said, reading my face. We'll wait until after cake, after presents. We'll be quick and quiet. Unless what? Unless Ashley makes us be loud. I knew my daughter-in-law. She wouldn't handle this quietly. She'd scream, deny, make a scene. And that was fine. The truth was louder than any tantrum she could throw. My son called the night before the party. Dad, about tomorrow. His voice had that careful tone he used when Ashley was listening. Please don't mention the nursing home thing. Ashley feels terrible about the misunderstanding. Misunderstanding. Like she'd accidentally sent me a brochure about being institutionalized. I'll behave, I said. And Dad, come alone, okay? Ashley's parents will be there, and you know how they are about crowds. I knew exactly how they were. Catherine Morrison looked at me like I was the help. Still wore her old money pearls, even though her husband had drunk away their fortune 20 years ago. I might bring a friend, I said. Dad, please. Just this once. Can you not make things difficult? Difficult. I'd worked myself into the ground for this family. Sacrificed everything. And wanting to bring a friend was difficult. We'll see, I said and hung up. Michael was sitting across from me, having heard every word on speaker. He doesn't know, does he? About any of it. No, I said. Ashley's kept that secret locked up tight. Must be exhausting, Michael said. Living with that big a lie. Tomorrow, she could finally rest. The truth would be out, and she could stop pretending to be someone she wasn't. The morning of the party, we drove to St. Mary's one more time. Sister Patricia had found something else. I wasn't sure I should show you this, she said, pulling out a yellow envelope. But given the circumstances, inside was a letter. Ashley's handwriting, Teenager messy, but recognizable. Please don't try to find me. I'm not ready to be a mother. I may never be ready. Please find him a good family. Someone who wants him. Because I don't. Michael read it 3 times. His hands didn't shake, but something in his face shifted. The last hope that maybe she'd been scared, maybe she'd been forced, died right there. She was clear about what she wanted. Sister Patricia said gently. Some people aren't meant to be parents. But she had another kid, Michael said. My sister. When she was ready. When it fit her life. Sister Patricia's voice was kind but firm. You weren't convenient. Emma was. We made copies of the letter. Added it to our folder. The evidence was overwhelming now. Not just legal documents, but emotional proof. Ashley had made a choice, and she'd lived with it for 32 years. Now she'd get to live with it publicly. Are you sure about this? Sister Patricia asked as we left. Michael answered before I could. She tried to throw him away. Now she wants to do it again. Yeah, we're sure. I met with my lawyer Thursday morning. Tom Brennan had handled my will, my house deed, everything important in my life. You want to do what? He asked after I explained. I want to make sure I'm legally protected, that she can't claim harassment or stalking or whatever else she might invent. Tom reviewed our documents. Birth certificate, DNA test, adoption papers, the letter. This is all legitimate. You raised this boy for 32 years, and she never paid support, never visited, never acknowledged him. Never. Tom leaned back. You're not breaking any laws by telling the truth. But Dennis, this could destroy your relationship with your son. What relationship? I asked. The one where I pay their bills and get treated like a burden? The one where they're planning to sell my house out from under me. Tom made notes. If you're going to do this, do it clean. No accusations beyond what you can prove. No threats. Just facts. Just facts, I agreed. He drew up a document. My official statement, witnessed and notarized. Everything I knew, when I knew it, what I'd done about it. Clean and legal. One more thing, I said. I want to change my will. Tom's eyebrows rose. To include Michael? To protect what's mine from people who see me as a wallet. The night before the party, Michael stayed over. We went through the plan one more time. We arrive at 2:30, I said. After most guests are there. I wait in the car until you text me. We don't interrupt the cake or presents. We wait for a natural break. Michael nodded. He was nervous, I could tell. His foot kept tapping, the same way it had when he was a kid waiting for test results. You don't have to do this, I said. I can handle it alone. No. His voice was firm. She made her choice 32 years ago. You made yours. You chose me when nobody else would. Now I'm choosing you. We sat in comfortable silence, the TV playing some show neither of us watched. Then a knock rattled my door. My son stood on the porch, hands in his pockets. Dad, can we talk? I let him in. Michael stood to leave, but I motioned him to stay. This is Michael, I said. My friend. They shook hands. My son barely glanced at him, too focused on his mission. Dad, about tomorrow. Ashley's been stressed. The boutique, money stuff. The nursing home thing was just her trying to help. She thought maybe you were lonely. Lonely? I repeated. Just, please don't cause any drama tomorrow. It's Emma's day. No drama, I promised. Just truth. My son studied Michael more carefully. Have we met? No, Michael said simply. You look familiar. Michael shrugged. He did look familiar. He had Ashley's nose, her jawline. But my son had never been good at seeing what was right in front of him. Dad, I'm serious about tomorrow. Ashley's parents will be there. Her friends. These are important people. Important people, I repeated. And I'm not. That's not what I meant. Then what did you mean? He struggled, caught between loyalty to his wife and whatever was left of his love for me. Just, can you try to fit in? Just once. Fit in. Like I was some puzzle piece that didn't match their perfect picture. I'll be myself, I said. That used to be enough. Dad, please. Go home to your wife, I said, not unkindly. Tell her I'll be there. Tell her whatever makes her feel better. He left, shoulders sagging. Michael watched from the window until the car disappeared. He really doesn't know, Michael said. He sees what he wants to see. What's easier to see? And tomorrow? Tomorrow, he'll have to see everything. We went to bed early, but I don't think either of us slept much. Tomorrow would change everything. There was no going back. The party was already in full swing when we arrived. Pink balloons covered the mailbox. A bouncy castle dominated the front yard. Through the windows, I could see adults holding wine glasses while kids ran around in princess dresses. 15 minutes, I told Michael. Let me go in first. I walked through the front door without knocking. Family doesn't knock, right? Ashley stood in the living room, holding court in a white sundress that probably cost more than my monthly pension. She was midway through a speech about family values and teaching Emma the importance of tradition. Family means everything, she was saying. It's about showing up, being present, making sacrifices for each other. She saw me and paused, her smile flickering. Dennis, so glad you could make it. I held up my gift for Emma, a savings bond I'd bought despite everything. Wouldn't miss it. Her parents sat on the couch like royalty reviewing their subjects. Catherine's eyes narrowed when she saw me. Still judging, after all these years. I found a corner and waited. Ashley resumed her speech, but her rhythm was off. She kept glancing at me like I was a grenade that might explode. She had no idea how right she was. The doorbell rang just as Ashley was raising her glass for a toast. Family is about honesty, she was saying. About trust and commitment, and the door opened. Michael walked in. The room didn't stop immediately. People turned, curious about the late arrival. This handsome, well-dressed man who nobody recognized. Ashley's glass stopped halfway to her lips. The color drained from her face so fast I thought she might faint. Michael walked straight toward her, calm and steady. Sorry I'm late, he said. Traffic was terrible. Ashley's voice cracked. Hello, Mom, Michael said clearly. Remember me? The silence was instant and complete. Even the kids in the other room seemed to sense something and went quiet. Catherine Morrison's wine glass slipped from her hand, shattering on the hardwood floor. The sound broke the spell, and everyone started talking at once. Mom, someone said. Did he say Mom? Ashley's mouth opened and closed like a fish gasping for air. My son stepped forward, confused. Ashley, who is this? Michael turned to him. I'm Michael, your wife's firstborn son, the one she gave away 32 years ago. The room erupted. Ashley found her voice, and it came out as a laugh. Hi, brittle, fake. This is ridiculous. I don't know who you are, but this is sick. Getting Dennis to help you crash my daughter's party with some crazy story. It's not a story, I said, stepping forward with the folder. It's documented fact. I opened the folder on the coffee table, spreading out the papers for everyone to see. Birth certificate, DNA results. The receipt with Catherine's signature. That's not. Ashley grabbed for the papers, but Michael was faster. Birth certificate, he said, holding it up. Ashley Marie Morrison, mother. March 15th, 1991. St. Mary's Children's Services. Catherine stood up, shaking. Ashley, what is this? It's nothing. He's lying. This is fake. Michael pulled out his phone, showed a photo. Him as a baby, the same photo from the St. Mary's file. Then another, him at 5, at 10, at graduation. All with me. Dennis raised me, he said simply. When you wouldn't. Ashley's friends were backing away, their faces mixing shock and disgust. One woman grabbed her child's hand. We should go. No. Ashley screamed. You don't understand. This isn't real. But everyone could see it was. The resemblance was obvious now that they were looking. Michael had her eyes, her chin. He was her ghost come back to haunt her. I spread out more papers. The letter in Ashley's handwriting. The canceled checks for Michael's school. Report cards with my signature as guardian. 32 years, I said to the room. I've raised this boy for 32 years while Ashley pretended he never existed. You had no right, Ashley hissed at me. That was private. That was your son, Michael interrupted. A baby you threw away because he didn't fit your timeline. My son finally found his voice. Ashley, is this true? Did you have a baby? She turned on him, tears streaming down her face. But they weren't sad tears. They were furious. It was before you. Before us. It didn't matter. Didn't matter? His voice broke. You had a child and never told me? It wasn't a child. It was a mistake. I was 19. I'm standing right here, Michael said quietly. The mistake. Still breathing. Still inconvenient. Catherine stepped forward, her face pale. I paid for the placement. To protect her future. We agreed it was best. You knew? My son turned to his mother-in-law. You all knew. The party guests were fleeing now, grabbing their kids and gifts, muttering excuses. Emma stood in the doorway, confused, holding a balloon. Mommy, why are you crying? Ashley tried one more time to spin it. Dennis manipulated this whole thing. He's angry about the nursing home suggestion, so he hired this man to humiliate me. Check the DNA test. It's probably fake. Michael pulled out his phone. I had 3 tests done. Different labs. Want to see them all? He started swiping through results, lab reports, official seals. The evidence was overwhelming. He tracked me down, Ashley said desperately. He's stalking me. This is harassment. I'll call the police. Please do, I said. I'm sure they'd be very interested in why you never paid child support. Why you abandoned a baby. Why your mother paid to keep it quiet. Ashley's father, who'd been silent, finally spoke. Catherine, you knew about this? You helped her hide a child? Catherine's composure cracked. She was young. It would have ruined everything. Her scholarship, her future. So you threw away a baby to save her reputation? He looked disgusted. Both of you lied to everyone for 30 years. Ashley grabbed the cake knife, gripping it like a weapon. Get out. Both of you. Get out of my house. The house Dennis helped pay for? Michael asked. The man you want to put in a nursing home? The one who raised your unwanted kid. The knife shook in her hand. Dad, my son said quietly. Why didn't you tell me? I looked at him. This man I'd loved and supported even as he'd chosen his wife over me, again and again. Because Michael needed a father more than you needed a scandal. Because I thought maybe Ashley would come back for him. Because I kept hoping she had a heart. But when she sent me that, I pointed to the nursing home brochure I'd brought with me. I realized she doesn't. She never did. My son picked up the brochure, reading Ashley's cheerful note. His face changed as he understood what she'd been planning. You were going to put him in a home? My father. It's not like that. Then what's it like? He was angry now, finally. Explain to me how suggesting we dump my dad in a nursing home so we can sell his house is anything other than cruel? Ashley's perfect facade finally cracked completely. We need the money. Emma needs her school. We need a better house. We need, my son repeated. What about what he needs? What about what Michael needed? Don't you dare judge me. Ashley screamed. You don't know what it was like. Then tell me, Michael said. Tell me what it was like to be 19 and pregnant. Make me understand why leaving was better than staying. Ashley set down the knife and really looked at Michael for the first time. You want to know? Fine. Your father was my professor. Married. 2 kids. When I told him about you, he gave me $500 and told me to handle it. I couldn't. I wouldn't. So I had you. And then what? Be a teenage mom with no money, no help, no future. So you gave me to the state? I gave you a chance at a better life. No, I interrupted. You gave him to me. The state called me because you listed me as emergency contact. Why, Ashley? Why my number? She looked trapped. I knew you were kind. I'd seen you at the college when you visited your son. You seemed safe. So you picked me to clean up your mess? I picked you because I knew you'd say yes. She was sobbing now, ugly and real. I knew you were the kind of man who couldn't walk away from a baby. And I was right, wasn't I? The room was silent except for her crying. Yeah, I said finally. You were right. I couldn't walk away. I took him home, raised him, loved him, gave him everything you wouldn't. And now he's successful, Ashley said bitterly. Now he's something. Catherine finally broke completely. I'm sorry, she said to Michael. I'm so sorry. I thought if we just made it go away, Ashley could have the life she deserved. The life she deserved, Michael repeated. What about the life I deserved? You got it. Catherine said desperately. Look at you. You're successful, well-dressed, obviously educated. Because of him. Michael pointed at me. Not because of you or her or anyone else who thought I was trash to be thrown out. Because one man decided I was worth saving. And now, I said, standing up, that same man is apparently worth throwing away. I pulled out the letter I'd had Tom prepare. This is my new will. Michael gets the house when I die. Not you. I looked at my son, not Ashley. The boy she threw away gets the house she wanted to steal. Ashley lunged for the letter, but my son caught her arm. Stop, he said quietly. Just stop. You're taking his side? After everything I've done for you. What have you done for me, Ashley? Besides lie? Besides plan to rob my father? Besides hide an entire child from me? Their marriage was ending right there in front of everyone. You could see it in their faces, the fracture that would never heal. I walked over to Ashley and handed her the nursing home brochure. Thought this might help, I said, echoing her note. You're going to need somewhere to go after the divorce. She slapped me. hard enough that my glasses flew off. Michael stepped between us. Touch him again, and I call the police. Assault charges won't help your custody case. Custody? Ashley laughed bitterly. You think he'll leave me? You think you've won? Nobody won, I said, putting my glasses back on. We all lost something. You lost your secret. I lost my son's respect. Michael lost 32 years with his mother. Emma lost her innocence. Everybody lost. Except, Michael added, we don't have to keep losing. You could apologize. You could try to make this right. Ashley looked at him like he was insane. Apologize? To you? To him? Michael pointed at me. To the man who did your job for 3 decades. Who never asked for thanks or money or even acknowledgement. Who kept your secret until you tried to throw him away. I will never. Then we're done here. Michael picked up the folder of evidence. These copies are yours. The originals are in a safety deposit box. If you come near Dennis, if you threaten him, if you even think about that nursing home again, I'll make sure everyone in this city knows exactly what kind of person you are. The party was over. Guests gone. Cake untouched. Emma crying in her room. My son sat on the front steps, head in his hands. I sat down beside him. I'm sorry, I said. I didn't want it to happen like this. 32 years, Dad. You kept this secret for 32 years. Would you have married her if you knew? He thought about it. I don't know. Maybe not. Then Emma wouldn't exist. And whatever else Ashley is, she loves that little girl. Does she? Or does Emma just fit her image better than Michael did? I didn't have an answer for that. What happens now, he asked. That's up to you. But I'm done funding a life that doesn't include me. I'm done being treated like a burden. And I'm done keeping secrets that aren't mine to keep. I need time to think. Take all the time you need. You know where I live. It's the house Ashley wanted to sell. I stood up to leave. Michael was waiting by the car. Dad, my son called. I'm sorry. For all of it. For choosing her over you. For letting her treat you badly. For not seeing what was right in front of me. I know, I said. But sorry doesn't change what happened. A week later, my son called. He and Emma were staying with his friend while he figured things out. Ashley had hired a lawyer, but so had he. She admitted it, he said. About planning to have you declared incompetent. About selling your house. Her lawyer says it makes her look bad in the divorce. Are you okay? No. But I will be. Emma's confused, but she's young. She'll adapt. And Ashley, living with her parents. Posting on Facebook about being a victim of manipulation. Some people believe her. Most don't. I'm sorry it came to this. Don't be. I needed to know who I married. Who I was becoming. Dad, can I ask you something? Why did you take Michael? Really? I thought about it. Because every child deserves someone who shows up. Because I couldn't stand the thought of him wondering why he wasn't wanted. Because your mother would have done the same thing. Mom would have loved him. She would have. She had the biggest heart of anyone I knew. I want to know him. Michael. If he'll let me. Ask him yourself. He's a good man. The kind of man you could have been if Ashley hadn't. I know. I'm working on it. 3 months later, we met at St. Mary's. Neutral ground, Sister Patricia had suggested. Ashley came, but she looked different. Smaller. The armor of perfection she'd worn for so long was gone. I'm sorry, she said to Michael first. No excuses, no explanations. Just the words. Michael nodded but didn't speak. I'm sorry, she said to me. For the nursing home. For the money. For all of it. Why? I asked. Because I was scared. We were drowning in debt, and I panicked. I thought if we just had the money from your house. You thought wrong. I know. My son spoke up. We're getting divorced. Joint custody of Emma. I'm getting an apartment near Dad. Ashley nodded. She'd already known. I want to do therapy, she said. Family therapy. All of us. Including Michael, if he's willing. Michael finally spoke. Why now? Why not 10 years ago? 20. Because I wasn't ready to face what I'd done. I'm still not ready. But I can't keep running from it. What about your parents? I asked. They're selling their house. Moving to Florida. The scandal was too much for their social circle. She pulled out a check. This is just the start. I'll pay back everything. It'll take time, but I will. I looked at the check. $5,000. A drop in the ocean of what they'd taken, but it was something. Emma's 5th birthday was last week. Different party. Smaller. Just family. Michael came. He brought her a gift. A savings bond, like I'd taught him. Something for her future that couldn't be spent on anyone else's present. Ashley was there, quiet and careful. She watched Michael with something like regret, maybe wonder. The son she threw away had become everything she'd wanted to be: successful, confident, kind. My son was there too, trying to bridge the gap between what was and what is. He and Michael were slowly becoming brothers. Not friends yet, but working toward it. Emma doesn't know the whole truth. Someday she will. But for now, she just knows she has another uncle who looks a bit like Mommy and tells great stories about computers. I kept the nursing home brochure. It sits in my desk drawer, a reminder of how close I came to losing everything. But also a reminder that sometimes the worst gifts give us exactly what we need. Ashley needed to face her past. Michael needed to know where he came from. My son needed to see who he'd married. And me? I needed to stop being everyone's safety net. The house is still mine. The will is still changed. But the door's not locked. People can change. Families can heal. Truth can set you free. Even if it takes 32 years to get there.